Right now on the PBE, there is a buff for Jinx's attack speed on her minigun that is essentially a revert to the nerf they gave her in 5.10 back in Season 5. And I'll read it first before breaking it down so that people can maybe understand it. Jinx, Switcheroo Q. Bonus attack speed increased from 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70% to 30, 55, 80, 105, and 130%. Also removed from the tooltip, bonus scales with spell ranked and Jinx's level. I'll break this down real quick by first explaining levels, or at least Jinx, in case you didn't even play the game in Season 5, or you've played very little Jinx so you never really understood her attack speed scaling. You have 18 levels in League of Legends. When you start the game, you start at level 1, and you can get all the way up to level 18 depending if you get enough XP and experience and a lead. With Jinx, as we all know with most champions, you can only put 3 points into your ultimate, and that's only at levels 6, 11, and 18. But for the other 3 abilities, you have 5 potential points you can put into them to level them up. And with Jinx, the way her attack speed scaling worked was, I'll use the live numbers for example. At level 1, if you put a point into Q, you get 30 extra% attack speed on top of whatever attack speed she already had when it stacks. And then if you put another point to level, another point into Q, you get the 40, another point the 50, the 60, the 70%. Well, back in Season 5, back when Jinx was a bit more powerful and had to be nerfed several times before the end of the season, what that used to be the scalings was actually 30, 55, 80, 105, and 130, which meant once you put 5 of those points into Q and maxed out Q, you'd have 130% extra attack speed. And then by level, because that's by level 9 is the earliest you can level up one ability, you'd also probably have Boots and BF Sword by then, so you'd probably have more like 160-65% attack speed, and as such, you had quite a bit of DPS, which made sense for what's supposed to be a DPSing AD carry. But like I said, they nerfed her, she was a bit too powerful, it made sense, it still hurt a little bit, but the pros actually considered the nerfs she got in Season 5 the thing that killed her in competitive play. Because one of the reasons they're buffing Jinx is even though in low elo she is good, and not necessarily so much because she's just fantastic in low elo, it's more so low elo doesn't know how to close out games. A Jinx down there can reach the late game more often and as such get her items and still scale well and do fine. As opposed to higher elos and pro play, we haven't seen her that much if ever, and pros and high elo players say that the Season 5 nerfs were the things that gutted her. So it's fantastic that these are coming back in my opinion, because the changes that they're doing is to try and help out high elo Jinx and pro play Jinx. They want her to at least be viable. She doesn't have to be the top tier, but we just got out of a meta at Worlds where it was about Ardent Sensor, Peels, Shields, stuff like that, late game hyper carries, and Jinx was still not good enough to be played in that meta. She was only played once in the group stage by On, who only played her because that's his pocket pick. He was going to play Jinx anyway, no matter what the meta is. That's what he does every year at Worlds. That's why I made the prediction that we were going to see Jinx at Worlds, because I knew On was at Worlds. I was like, he's going to play her at least once. He'll find a way. Not because she was actually good enough to be played in a meta that should have favored her, and even if she wasn't like Tristana levels good, she should have still been viable, something people could have looked at to pick, and pros just feel like she's been gutted since Season 5 and not worth playing. So I'm excited about these changes is because they're pretty much giving her the attack speed back on her minigun. By the time you reach level 9, the mid game even if you will, if you're going to say 9's the middle between 1 and 18 of course, she's going to be great to play. She's going to have the DPS to shred towers and objectives again and stuff, and you're going to have a reason to pick her, because right now, it's not that Jinx is garbage, it's just that every other carry does what she does and then some. Tristana can demolish towers, but she also has a lot of safety. Twitch has stealth and stuff and can be very useful in escaping. Vayne has mobility more than Jinx does. Jinx really kind of isn't like bad on paper or even in game, but she just doesn't have something extra. And now this kind of gives her a little bit of her mojo back that she had in Season 5, while still leaving her in a state where she's still bounceable, right? The rocket launcher will still lose DPS, and one of the things I haven't clarified yet with August Browning, the kit designer, is does remove from tooltip mean she no longer gains attack speed per level as well? So they've reverted that so that they can give her Season 5 stats back. And I'll explain that really quick too, because that might be confusing. Pretty much when they did the change to Jinx and they nerfed her, what they also allowed was you'd gain like little bits of attack speed per level no matter what you're leveling. So in all 18 levels, you were gaining a little bit of attack speed as well. It evened out by level, I think, 16, and so it's actually a buff for level 17 and 18, in the really late game as a carry like Jinx is supposed to be, but until levels 1 through 16 it was a bit of a nerf because you weren't getting that much attack speed per level. So I don't know if that's gone or not. We're gonna have to wait and see. I'll see if I can get a response from him for tomorrow's weekly Jinx video, but I had to make this video because it's just plain exciting. We've been waiting for like a decent Jinx buff for a while. We don't want her to be OP and out of control or anything like that, but it was just kind of sad if we just got out of a meta that should have favored her, and we're possibly heading into another meta with Relic's Shield that should also favor her, and she's just not good. She's not on the stage contending even. So, that's all for this video. If you want to have more of a discussion about this video, hit me up in the comment section down below, hit me up on Twitter, that's fine. But, I don't know which video will be next, because life be quite a mess. So until next time, take care, from the Fire Godai, FS. Thank you for watching.